What does the Quran do to you? What does it do to your heart? Let's talk about diseases of the heart. And what did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said? What is the disease and what is the cure? And it's all in the Quran. I'm going to share two only. And I will bring you the verses in the Quran. And you will see how He subhanahu explained the disease to us and the treatment. One of the first diseases we all have, and no one is immune, myself number one, and in different levels. But living in this day and age is called hubbud dunya. We love this world. We love it. We fight each other for it. We hate each other for it. We cut relationships for it. Am I correct? Now let's see, what did Allah say? How do you know it's a disease? Now let's see, what did Allah say? How do you know it's a disease? Is when you know it's hurtful or it's not worthy. And Allah said this in Surah Al-Hadid. In many places in the Quran, Allah talks about dunya. But I'm going to bring you this one. In Surah Al-Hadid, Allah said the following. And learn this, my dear brothers and sisters. When Allah tells you and me, no, that means you really need to know this. And it's for your benefit. It's not for me. Allah will not get anything extra if I was knowledgeable or not, if I prayed or not, if I obeyed Him or not. He said, i'lamu, no. Tell me what is dunya for you. Normally what you hear from people, fun, children, wealth, travel, vacations, that's life, right? That's not what Allah said. The one who created it. I'lamu, no. Everybody, young and old, teach your children. So when they grow up, they don't suffer and struggle like we are all now. Verily, this life is but la'ib. You know what's la'ib? Play. Like children playing. Lahu, amusement. He did not negate that it is not a beauty, but He's reminding me what kind of a beauty. And then boastfulness between you. I have a bigger house. My job is this. My salary is that. I live in this neighborhood. I live there. My children went to this college, to this university. It's all about boastful. It's a competition, fierce one. But about what? I've said this recently to the sisters, and I said, we so much compete about dunya. Why don't we compete about akhirah? Why don't we say, I want the best house in the best neighborhood with the best neighbor in Jannah? Why not? And it's not free. You have to work for it. That's what dunya is all about. And then in another verse in Yunus, He gives it to you. The real fact, we see it every single day. He said, verily this dunya is what? It's like rain. And send it down to you. What happened? Then the water mixed with the vegetations on this earth, right? And then what people eat and animals eat. And then give me your heart and brain about this. And Allah is saying, then dunya becomes beautiful. And people think they will live forever. You become in your 30s. You have finished you achieved your goal in your career. You got married. You have children. And now you got it all. What will happen? And that's what Allah said. And the people living on it think they have it. Panic. Our decree came in. And during the day or the night, we made it ashes, as if it was not beautiful yesterday. How many times, if not every day, you hear this person and that person, the multi-millionaire, the house, whatever it is, the car they drive, the children they have, and they died, and they left it. All. They thought they had it. It's all in my hand, but they left it. Or they're still alive, but Allah took it. That's the disease, and that's the treatment. We read the Quran. I'm sure all of you have read Surah Yunus, and every one of you have read Surah Al-Hadid, but I didn't make it. I didn't think of it. I didn't think it's even a disease and the treatment is in the Quran. Second major disease, we all have it. I hope you all paid attention, how we look at each other. I am better because whatever I am. And my assessment, Allah knows who I am in His sight. Kibr, arrogance, huge disease. And it is in the Muslim community, in masajid, in the people who are practicing. And you see it outside also. And who was the arrogant one who Allah described in the Quran because of his money? Qarun. And this is in Surah Al-Qasas. Stories. And Allah now telling you and me the story. And stories in the Quran is not for fun and just so we have entertainment. That's not Allah. Every story is talking to you and talking to me and telling me, learn. And if it's a good story, be like them. And if it's not a good story, then don't be like him. Let me share the story and let all reflect. Am I, at one point in my life, acted like Qarun, diseased my heart? Qarun was from the people of Musa. He acted unjustly. Why? We gave him wealth. Don't tell me millions. Not even billions. Don't tell me Steve Jobs and don't tell me Jeff Bezos. No. Because look how Allah described him. We gave him treasures, the keys of the treasures is so hard for a huge group of strong people to carry it. How much he had. And Allah gave you an idea. Whatever you have, Qarun had more. Whatever hard work you did, Qarun did more. And what did he say? Now the treatment. Here in this story is the disease and the treatment comes together. His people looked at him and says, La, don't be so happy and arrogant and showing off and thinking everybody is less than you. Allah doesn't like that. When your reference point is Allah, this should starts in your heart literally like a war. Allah doesn't love it. I'm not going to do it. Don't be so happy. Oh, I got the new phone. Oh, I had this job. Now I got a raise. Don't be too happy. Why did Allah give me the money then? Explain it in the next verse. Use what Allah gave you. And Allah is telling you and me, telling him, but it's basically to you and me, what Allah gave you. Money, wealth, stocks, real estate, whatever it is, companies, use it for your akhirah, not for benefits of Allah. What do I do in life? Don't forget your share in this life, but the priority is the akhirah. We all have our share from dunya. We all. How did Qarun responded? And I'm going to say it and see if this is going to sound familiar. I worked hard for it. I worked hard for it. You all are looking at me. It's not my words. That's the anchor. That's the anchor we're talking about. And Allah responded immediately. Doesn't he know? Qarun, we have destroyed people before him, had way more money, much stronger. But you and me, I love this story. You and me, we are weak. We look at people of power and money and status, and in me, say, I wish I have it. The people who doesn't think of the akhirah, I wish we have what he has. He has a lot. How fortunate. Does that sound familiar? Do we say this to ourselves when we see people with more than what we have? The people who have knowledge, that's the cure. Now, I told you, in this story, he's going to give you the disease and the cure immediately. Those who have knowledge, they saw him. They saw when he came out with his entourage, with all the people with him. The people with no knowledge said, I love it. I want her car. I want her house. I want his job. I want his power. But not the people with knowledge. What Allah has, way better than this 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 years. How long you lived in this life? We're going to be asked. There. We stayed a day or a two. Ask those who are counting. People of knowledge, the cure. Knowledge and knowledge and knowledge. وَيْلَكُمْ, woe on you. The hereafter is way better than this temporary mirage. And immediately Allah says, we made the earth open and swallowed him, and the people with him who they wanted to be like him. Arrogance, huge disease, huge. We all have it. Cure is what Allah said. Focus on the akhirah. And He points the disease and the cure. It's way better than what they are collecting. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us of those who they listen to the words of admonition and they follow the best of it. And I seek refuge from Allah that I remind you and forget myself. Jazakumullah khairan.